Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 696. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book but you're having some trouble getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who really doesn't even see themselves as an author into a published one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "My life is more than a waiting period. It is an expedition. How I perceive it and how I improve upon it is solely up to me." Celeste Cooper. And once again, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's week is going well. And got some questions on my mind today. When writing a self-help book, how do you create a balance between teaching the process and including your personal story? And also, do you include success stories of others that have been through and used this process? Great questions. And this brings to mind immediately a quick recap of why I love self-help memoirs. That's what I specialize in, otherwise known as Memoirs with a Message, because purely self-help books, they have the author kind of shoulding, I like to say, all over the reader without building trust and rapport. So you should do this, you should do this, you should do that, but without really building that trust that only authors can do by sharing authentically and vulnerably their personal story. On the other hand, purely memoir, without any message strategically woven throughout, can leave the reader ambiguous on the intended transformation and their action steps to achieve it. Memoirs are great, but if there's no kind of message, even very subtly woven in, sometimes it can be a little hard to figure out, what the lesson should be for your life. So the beauty of self-help memoirs is where, I refer to the balance of teaching a process and telling a personal story as finding the intersection of story and message. And that's really, for me, the best part about self-help memoirs, finding the intersection of story and message. This means designing an architecture that connects those two things, story and message. For example, maybe your book is 70% story and 30% message, or 90% message and 10% story if it's more of a business book. Sometimes the story will lead, kind of like dancing, and sometimes your message will guide your architecture. So here are some questions you can ask to help find the story-message intersection in your self-help memoir. Question number 1. What is the ultimate business/brand goal of your book? And would leading with story or message better support that goal? Number 2. Is your author brand, or maybe your emerging author brand that you're working on, is it heavier on your personal story or on your message or teaching model or something to do with that, more on like the nonfiction business or personal or business development side? Which is heavier for you? Number 3, based on your research of your target readers and what you know about your target audience, which balance of story and message might better speak their language and support their needs and help solve their problems? Number 4, which structure better plays to your strengths as an author? And this is really important here. Are you more of a natural storyteller? Do you lean, just kind of monitor yourself, be an author observer in conversations. Are you more of a natural storyteller or more of a natural teacher where you'd rather teach the nonfiction information? And again, you're including both in this book, so you're not leaving one by the curb. But, which plays to your strengths as an author more? Story or message? That's something else to take into account when you're trying to figure out that intersection of story and message. And then the second part, success stories of others, whether you call them case studies or vignettes or stories, they fall under the category of story in your book's architecture. Just an important note I wanted to point out. So when written as such, so when you write success stories of other people or through history or whatever, as a story, an actual story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and all those other storytelling great literary tools that we use in our stories, not as like a testimonial or something very dry, but if you write success stories and historical stories and stories from other people, if you write them as stories, they can be very effective in supporting your messages and your lessons that you're putting in your book. So I hope that's helpful. And as always, Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And please drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing, resources, and more. I'll put the link in the show notes. Until tomorrow, happy writing.